if there's anybody on here or not, but I'm coming on a little bit early to get everything set up because YouTube is still messed up and I can't schedule my live. So I'm going to be starting, well, should be done by 7 o'clock. Request timed out. What on earth is this thing doing? Okay, I'm still here. It still says live. I still see the timer. So, what am I doing here? Setting this up. I tell you, this really is a pain that I have to go through this all the time. Um, this, edit this. Okay, let me open this. And minimize that. Alright, so we got all of that. Wait, why is this more? Um, Right. I don't even have the pretty little picture to post yet. I'm going to have to take pictures later on after I'm done and add that. Nothing like procrastinating a little bit. I just got the projects done not all that long ago. Okay, so not made for kids. No, no, no. Let's see, what else do I need to add here? This. Hello, Yvonne. Hello again. Today. This. I want that. That. Okay. So save this. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go let people know out there on Facebook land that I am live. All right. Oh, it froze? I just barely saw what you just said. Um, Mhm. All right, let's post this. Okay, let me switch. No, 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 no. Okay, so that part is done. All right, we got that. I think we're done there. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. Chat. And let's pin this up at the top. All right, we're just about there. Where's Terry? We just talked to her. All right, so I think we have everything now. Like I mentioned, I will be adding the picture either tonight or well, possibly tonight or tomorrow, one of the two. Do have a few things. Now I'm looking for my stuff. We just talked to her though. Okay. We still got a little bit. This. There she is. Wondering where you were, Terry. We just got done talking to you. Can you hear me okay? Love you too, Terry. Okay. Cool. So if you are watching this on the replay, jump ahead about 15 minutes. It's almost another 2 more minutes, but it's the same issue. I don't know what's up with YouTube, but I can't schedule any of my lives. Well, of course I'm going to be loud and clear for you, Yvonne. You're in the other room. Um, yeah, YouTube is still messed up. and I can't schedule my lives with all the info and the pictures and everything. So I have to literally set everything up right at the time I'm going to go live. And I got my phone plugged in, and hopefully we don't go no 2 hours, because I will tell you, as you get closer to 2 hours and you don't have the phone plugged in, the phone's going to then be telling you that your battery's about to die. Um, so we're almost there. Almost. So hope everybody's been having a good week. I can tell you it's been very busy. One of the reasons why I was just finishing up the stuff for tonight a little bit ago. So tomorrow, I don't even have those projects done yet, but I'll get them done. I'll get them done. Dinner's already made. We just got to warm it up, eat, kind of clean it up, and then I can get to work on that stuff. Yeah, they're not going to be overly difficult. Okay, it's 7 o'clock our time. 5 o'clock your time, Terry. So, welcome everybody. Um, so I don't think I'm going to have this camera on me much, because there's really a lot of housekeeping stuff that I want to show you. And then we should get into the projects, because one of them, well, they're not difficult cards, but a little bit time consuming. So let me go and flip, and we'll get started. And I'm really surprised this thing isn't telling me to rotate my phone. So let me bring that down. I'm probably too low, so let me bring it up a little bit and make sure everything's straight, because of course there's the delay too. Pull this out some. Don't mind my arm. And we're crooked. Got my mouse over here. Trying to move some stuff out of the way so it's not in the view. Okay, so that all looks good. I can come down just a little bit. Everything's looking good. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put my hair up in a clip, because it is a little toasty, for me anyway. Okay, so first off, tomorrow is World Card Making Day. Now, when I was talking about this past couple of weeks, past few videos and all that, I had made mention that when you had registered, now the registration is closed. It was closed this afternoon. But here's the thing. I thought that they were going to do it like they did it in the past, where, when you registered, they sent you an email, with the link to go and watch it. Well, yesterday or the day before, when I was on YouTube, I happened to notice that Stampin' Up! Has it set up at the video's already set up as a premiere. So meaning it's going live. Well, yeah, it's kind of going live, or maybe it's pre-recorded, but they're able to interact in the chat box. So evidently it's not going to be a link to some kind of platform, which would then also answer what I was wondering: how long is the event going to be available for people to watch? So evidently it's going to be, well, it'll be there forever unless something happens. But in the description, what I did do, and I think it's the first bullet point on there where I mentioned about their free virtual world card making event. I got the time, and then there's a link that'll take you right to um, the YouTube channel and the video to watch it. Now, again, I think looking at this now, registering really was to be able to get the free gift that Stampin' Up is going to have for everyone who registered. So I think that's the only thing there. So again, the link's in the description. Just go out there tomorrow at 2 Mountain Time, and of course now I gotta have a natty bug flying my way. So I apologize for that. So again, the registration had already closed this afternoon, and this will go on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And then again, I'm doing an in-person event. It looks like we're going to have like just a small grouping tomorrow. And then I'm going to be back here again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. to go live, and everything that we created during the daytime, which will be 3 projects. I'm going to recreate them tomorrow night right here. So I hope you'll be able to join me for that. Right now, from October 1st through the 31st, Stampin' Up! Is having a sale on the kits that are in the kits collection. So they're up to 30% off. And these kits, you've got options for card kits, treat packaging, home decor, and so much more. So I did include a link to the online store where all the kits are. Now this does not include Paper Pumpkin. It's just those kits collection. And there were 2 of them that just came out on October 1st. So one of them is a card kit, and the other looks like it's a journal. So there's a link for that if you want to check that out. And these are like while supplies last. So some of them they may, I don't know, maybe they'll be gone for good, or if you see currently unavailable, then that just means they're sold out, but they are coming back. Another thing that is going on now, this is in regards to Paper Pumpkin. This is the monthly subscription kit. The kit for October for first-time subscribers, or if you had subscribed before, to get this discount, use a different email address than what you used before. You go to paperpumpkin.com, you use the code holiday40, and you will get 40% off on this kit. Now, the the subscription kits, what's nice about Paper Pumpkin is everything is in the kit that you need to create the projects. The only extra things that you may want is maybe like a bone folder, to crease, your card bases, a take your pick tool, that makes it a little bit easier on putting down the embellishments, and then possibly a pair of scissors, if they include some kind of twine or ribbon or something like that. The colored instructions actually have a ruler on it, so you don't even need a ruler. Again, this offer is going to end on the 10th of October. Now, this kit, this is the Nest of Christmas. This does coordinate with the Nest of Winter Sweet collection. This is currently in our holiday mini catalog. Um, Again, with this, I mean, there's no commitments. I mean, each month, you always got to remember the 10th of each month. If if that next kit is not something that you really want, you can go out to the Paper Pumpkin website, and you can actually pause it. If it turns out, Paper Pumpkin's not for you, you can cancel it as well. So there's no commitment that you need, like you need to do a certain amount of months or anything like that. And the other thing too is if there are kits that you really like and maybe you want more than one, you can also change the quantity as well. You always got to remember it's got to be by the 10th of that month, because come the 11th, then it's a whole new subscription for that following month. So that is the kit. And then in addition to that, their Stampin' Up! Has had coordinating dies with all of the kits that they've had so far this year. And so for the months of October, November, and December, they have the Merry Tags and more. Now these dies, they'll coordinate with the kits. You do not need the dies to complete any of the projects. This is if you want to do some extra stuff with it. You do need to be a subscriber in order to get these. The item number for this is 165639, and here in the US it's $12. Now, Paper Pumpkin is not available overseas. It's only available in North America, so for the US and Canada. So if Paper Pumpkin sounds like something you may be interested in, I do have a link for it in the description. And even if you have any questions, just send me an email and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have. Um, Hello, Carol. Welcome. I'm just doing some bit of housekeeping. We just started, and I was making mention at the very beginning that YouTube has been having issues lately, so I actually have to start like 15 minutes before actually starting on everything just to get everything set up because yeah, it changes my orientation and everything. So if you ever come back on a to watch a Friday night live or whatever or kind of live, um, always like fast forward about 15 minutes and then that's when I'm actually getting started. Okay, so there's also a starter kit special that's going on for the month of October. Typically, the kits cost $99 plus tax, and the shipping is free. Usually, you get to choose $125 in product. Now, this can be anything that's in the online store, so it can be stuff that's out of the current annual catalog, the holiday mini, anything that's in the clearance rack, online exclusives, and also we do have some what do you call it? Some pre-order stuff for online exclusives that are going to go live to everybody in November. So you can even include those items as well. Um, Getting the starter kit, becoming a demo, it does not mean you have to do what I'm doing and what some other demos are doing, where we're building a business and we're doing the videos and we're doing the classes. You can simply just be a discount shopper. Or they've also been called like hobby demos where you're just getting the product at a discount. So starting out, you get a 20% discount, and then after reaching a certain sale threshold, you can then earn a 25% discount. So if you have any questions about this at all, again, my contact info is in the description. Just go ahead and ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer any question that you may have. Now, I mentioned earlier about online exclusives that will be available for everyone in November. One of the perks about being a demo is that we do get to pre-order stuff before it goes live to customers. When we have when we have a new catalog, of course, we get to see that earlier, and we also get the pre-order out of it a month beforehand. Right now, again, there's online exclusives that have been added. So demonstrators can pre-order this stuff. And then, like I said, in November, everyone will be able, um, what do you call it, to then purchase this stuff. So this is just kind of a preview of two of the items. Now, one of them doesn't give a whole lot of like, detail like this, but This is the suite of products that are going to be basically for Valentine's Day. Now, this printed out picture does not do this DSP justice. If you look, well, when I look at it online, you have Cherry Cobbler, Real Red, Melon Mambo, Flirty Flamingo, Petal Pink, and gold foiling in it. And there was a video that I saw on the artist who made this paper, and she basically did a paint pour technique to come up with these designs. So really nice paper, but then also in this suite you have adhesive backed heart sequins. There's two different sizes of white gift bags. There's gold twisted thread. And then the bundle, you have some nice greetings, and they're all hearts as far as the dies go. In addition, now this isn't part of the suite, but in addition, they have a Happy Hibiscus bundle. This is one of the hybrid embossing folders. This is kind of like the same concept of the bundle that I will be using tonight. So this is another item that's going to be available. And then just here's another picture of some of those products. Now this is one I'm definitely going to get. Every year at my church, we do Valentine's for the women and the kids that are at Mariah House, which is a women's shelter. And then there's also a teen boys home that we also gather like treats and things like that up. So I tend to make probably anywhere between 24 to 36 little treat bags. And then I also make some cards to go in there. Plus I make other cards if somebody wants to just write, you know, a sweet little message for everyone. So this is definitely one that I will be getting at some point. One of the other sweets they're going to have is Otterly Adorable. So everything about this is about the otters. It's got the stamp and die bundle. It's got DSP. It's got some really cool iridescent embellishments, and then there's this Lost Lagoon like satiny type of cording that's for embellishment. So this one's really cool as well. One of the things I found out today, we got an email that Stampin' Up! Is going to have a 3-day stamp sale from October 7th through the 9th. And this is getting 15% off all the stamps from the 2024-2025 annual catalog. So it's not on the bundles, it's just the stamp sets. And then again, the scrapbooking brochure, because this was kind of a late comer since the catalog had gone live, that this, I do have a link to where you can access this. There's a couple of scrapbooking kits that coordinate with two of the suites that are in the holiday mini. And then there's another workshop that this basically coordinates with the potions and spells bundle that's in the online exclusives. I will be using this, I believe, right that Friday, right before Halloween. I'm not doing as much Halloween this year as I did last year. After a while, I really couldn't handle using black cardstock, orange and green and purple. So I kind of cut back on how much Halloween that I'm going to do. So this is all of the housekeeping stuff that I wanted to make mention of. So let me find a place to put this so it's out of the way. And let me bring in what it is that we are using. So there's the Changing Leaves stamp set, the set of dies, and then with the dies comes the hybrid embossing folder. So you can use the embossing folder by itself, or you can also use it in conjunction with the dies. And one of the cards that I am making, we will actually be doing that. Now, for my card, this card that I'm going to start off with, and I saw that you were on here, Andrea. Hello. Okay, so for this card, I'm going to kind of start this card and then we're going to kind of go back to it because of one of the things we're going to do. We need the ink to dry before we kind of go further with it. So let me grab a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to need this. Okay, so I have a piece of basic beige. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss. This is it's 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have another piece of basic beige. This measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And ahead of time, I had embossed it with the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. Okay, and then I have a couple scrap pieces of basic beige. So I have this bigger piece here. This is basically the size of the embossing folder. And then I have another scrap piece of basic beige. And then a scrap of Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so let me start with folding and burnishing. If you've noticed up in I have it pinned in the chat box, there is a link to a Google spreadsheet. And if you click on that, add your name to that list, because at the end I will be doing a wheel of names, and I will be drawing three winners for one of the cards that I make tonight. Okay, so there's my card base. I'm going to take this embossed piece here, and I'm going to adhere that. Well, you can't, when you emboss cardstock and you're using this stuff, you don't want to go really hard because it will start to tear the cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to center this on this piece of Blackberry Bliss. Okay. And then on this piece, I'm going to stamp my greeting, and I'm going to do that in Blackberry Bliss ink. And let me pull out my stamp. I'm going to do thank you. Let me get a block. You don't know what you would do if I weren't on these? Oh, are you talking to Terry? Oh, okay. I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm just noticing the comments and not really noticing what's been said ahead of time. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking at the comments. I see your comment about your hubby, Carol. Praying for your hubby. Yeah, so I have a wheel of names I'm going to do at the end. And I will choose 3 people to choose one of the cards I make tonight. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to die cut it, but I want to do this piece first because I want to let this dry. So for this, I'm going to bring in my blending brushes. So I have one that I'm going to use for my old olive. And let me see which one this is. I got my brushes off to the side here. So I have one for my Blackberry Bliss. And then I'm also using copper clay. Okay, so with this, I am just going to add some random color on here. And after that's done, I'm going to kind of set that aside just for, well, no, I'm going to sprinkle some water on it to create some water drops on it. And then I'm going to let that sit this aside and let this dry some. And then I will then use the embossing folder and the dies to die cut my leaves. So I'm not brushing anything off. I'm just adding color to this just randomly on my cardstock. And I apologize if everything is like shaking as I'm doing this. As the camera stand is attached to this table. Oh Lordy, I could see if you moved here, Terry. Oh boy. I'm slopping up my ink pad. Take a quick peek here. Okay, so I see. Is it Brenda or you go by Carol? Terry, Yvonne, Sharon. Now, Andrea, I know you're on here, honey. Put your name on there. If you're not able to, we can get your name on there. I know that Andrea's she's doing some card making as well. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of the color on these spots. I thought about doing this ahead of time because doing this part is a little time consuming. So for the projects I'm doing, I'm not doing any I'm not doing any coloring of any images with my blends. Okay. I'm just basically adding color all over this piece. Up at the top, pinned at the top, Andrea, there's a link. It'll take you to a Google spreadsheet. Okay. Then let's bring in copper clay. We'll add some of this. Okay, I think let's add a little more here. And then we'll fill the rest in with the Blackberry Bliss. Just looks like a big hot mess. Okay, and let me wipe off my ink pad before I decide to put my hand in that. Okay. All right, and then move that out of the way. Hi, Sharon. We got 2 people from South Carolina. And I'm just going to use this to fill in. I'm going to move my lights over a little bit. Carol and Sharon, how did your area fare with Hurricane Helene? Is your area badly hit? I know seeing those pictures from North Carolina, like Asheville and those areas near it. My goodness, that's just horrible. It's going to take a really long time to get that all cleaned up and rebuilt. Hopefully you're not hearing the people that are out there in the breezeway where I live, because they're being kind of loud. And mind you, I'm all the way in the back of the apartment. Okay. So that looks good. Let me move these out of the way. Okay, I'm going to put these brushes back so I don't get ink all over me. Okay, and let me move this aside when I do this next part here. So I'm going to open this up fully. And then I have some water here, and I have a water brush. Now this is not a Stampin' Up one. I should have grabbed the Stampin' Up one. This is one of the ones I got from Arteza. So I'm just going to add some water on here, and I'm going to tap some drops on here. What it's going to do, it's going to create some water droplets. Just add a little more interest to our leaves. Okay, we'll add just a little bit more. Okay. So I'll take this and move the water out of the way. We don't need the water anymore. Move that. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside to dry just a little bit. And while that's doing that, I'm going to work on the rest of the pieces for this card. So so with this scrap, I'm going to die cut that. Now on the back of this, I used some of the adhesive sheet on it. And let's see, I'm going to die cut that one. And then I'm going to pull out this larger die. There is a smaller one, but unfortunately it's just a little too small for my thank you. So we're going to do a custom die cut with that one. All right. So as I've mentioned in past videos, I do have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which I will be using because when it comes to embossing folders, I have an electronic die cutter over here. I have an Empress, and I don't know what the sandwich would be to do in this machine, so I have to pull out the other one. What I like about this Empress is that it's a little bit easier on my wrists. I'll be right back. Let me just move these brushes out of the way. I don't have my microphone in, so if I walked away, then you probably wouldn't have been able to hear me. Okay, so let me bring in my cutting plate here. And so for my thank you, I'm going to take, let's see, which way do I want to start first? So I'm going to leave some space over on this end and kind of center that. And then actually, let me do this at the same time. Place that down. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, and then for this piece, I'm going to take my die and I'm going to kind of line this up. It's going to kind of lock into that die. Come on, line up. Okay, this is not lined up. Come on. Okay. And then I'm going to run this through again. Okay. So instead of having a really, really long, and then cut some of that on the bottom. It's not what we wanted it to do, but I'll fix that with a little bit of tape. So we have a custom size die now. Then let me put this aside. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit of tape for that, just to hold that edge. Of course, the tape would be too wide. Stay on there. There we go. Okay. When I did this earlier, I didn't do that. It was just awful, I guess, when I... That's good, Sharon. I'm glad. Okay, now I got Scotch tape stuck to my finger that don't want to come off. Okay. Then let me take my leaf out. And then we got all these little bits. I made a big mess. Then we got some little bits that are kind of stuck, so I'll get those out when I go to put it down. I promise you, when I did this, this wasn't, everything cooperated. Okay, so let me put that aside. I got these little bits here that okay. So I'm going to set these aside, and then this should be dry now. Okay, so one of the nice things about these hybrid embossing folders, now you cannot do this with all of our 3Ds or anything, just the hybrids. So the die will fit right into the embossing folder. So to know if you got it in the right place, you'll notice it kind of like locks in place. And then I'm going to take this cardstock and I'm going to place this right over those dies and then close it up. like so. Now now let me bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. For this, what you will need is your #1 base plate. Let me move that so you don't see the glare of that. So the #1 base plate and the #4 3D embossing plate. Now when you use embossing folders, you want to take what is that, the seam, the fold part of it, and you want to put that through first. Okay. Make sure this is still in place. Okay. And then I'll run it through. And again, I apologize for all the shaking. Okay. So let me move that out of the way. And pull this out. And then here we have some really pretty variegated leaves. Okay, move that. And we'll get this out of the way. All right. So I got my card base, and then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it down to my card base. Make sure I'm putting on the right side. Center that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece here along, let's see, on the back of this one, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I'm going to add some to the back of these. No, it's a lot of dimensionals, but it's going to keep it in place and it won't get caught on anything. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to take this leaf and I'm going to add this right there. And then I'm going to take this one that I added the adhesive sheet to. And I'm going to get these little bits that are stuck in here. Get those unstuck. Okay, and then get the little paper that's stuck out of that. And then I'm going to stick this right here. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this one. Let's see, will one of these fit on here? Just. All right, and then I'm going to take this one and add that right there. So I'm trying to line up these stems a little bit. Okay, and then for my greeting, I'm going to add 2 dimensionals to the back of this. And I will add that right down here. And then for my embellishments, I am going to use, this is the Natural Tones linen thread. This is part of the, was it the Nest of Winter, that suite that I was telling you about that coordinates with this month's paper pumpkin kit. So 3 linen threads. You have a garden green, night of navy, and copper and Cajun Craze, and I'm going to use the Cajun Craze. And then I'm also going to use these are the transparent adhesive back dots. These are part of that suite. I think it's called To Market. And there's Blackberry Bliss in here, so I'm going to use those. And I'm going to take a larger one, I'll add that down there, and then 2 of the smaller ones, I'll add those right there. And then, don't mind me, I'm trying to find places to put things so they're out of the way. And then for this linen thread, I'm going to create a double bow, a double-stranded bow. I'm going to grab some of this. And of course, I'm not going to be needing all of this. It's a new month. I need to change out my little scissor fob. So it's definitely going to be a fall one. Because my neck, I kind of tie something in with what I'm doing for my in-person class, which I'll be having on October 19th. And the Friday night, right before that on the 18th, I'm going to be featuring that same suite of product as well. And so I'm going to, I do have more charms. I have pumpkins and I have leaves, and so I'll find something to coordinate with it. And then I'm going to trim this down. And I'm going to bring in my glue dots. I get rid of some of this. And then I add my bow. Then I'm going to place that right there. And so since we have a 3rd leaf, we're not going to let that one go to waste. So I am going to take that one, add some adhesive to it. And I'm going to add that right here on the inside of the card. So we got a little bit of the same leaves inside as well. So there is the first card. So on to the second one. The second one's a little bit quicker. The 3rd one has a lot to it, but a lot of what I've already done a lot of stuff to it ahead of time, so it'll go by pretty quickly. Okay, so for this one, we're kind of veering away from the fall colors on this one. The other one is definitely fall themed as well. So for this card, I have a piece of basic white thick. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have another piece. This is a regular piece of basic white. This measures 5 1/4 by 4, And ahead of time, I embossed it using this embossing folder. So you can use it with the dies or without. So we have that piece. Did I say what size that was? 5¼ by 4. And then when I lined it, when I put it in the embossing folder, just like as a tip, I'm really focusing on these 3 leaves here. So when I lined it up in here, I wanted to at least grab a piece of these leaves on here. And I then have scrap pieces, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Misty Moonlight, and Smoky Slate. So I'm going to fold and burnish. Okay. Got this piece of skin on my thumb. It needs to go away. All right. That's not what I want. I want this. Okay, set that aside. Then on these pieces here, I'm going to stamp my leaves. So I have this really large one, and I'm going to use the same color ink. So I have Misty Moonlight, Crushed Curry, and Coastal Cabana. So we're going to and since this is a much bigger stamp, I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp. Okay, stamp this right in the middle. Yeah, when she comes, Terry, when were you looking to come in April? Was it going to be like early, mid, near the end? Because what I'll do is I'll plan my my class, my in-person class around that time that you're here. Okay, so there is that. Let me set that aside. Close this up. All right. Then on my Misty Moonlight, I'm going to stamp the smaller leaf. Okay. And actually, while I got that out, I'm going to stamp my greeting that says, "You are amazing in every single way." And I'm going to center that. Okay. Really should be cleaning these as I go, because like I said, my space here gets cluttered very, very quickly. And I'll start to run out of room, and then I'll be touching things that got ink on it. That wouldn't be good. Okay, let me move things out of the way that I don't need. All right. Done with this. All right, and then Crushed Curry. I'm going to bring out the other leaf. And I'll stamp this one. Okay, clean this. I think I can move my lights back. All right. Okay, so for this, I'm going to bring in the cutting plate again because I'm going to cut these out on my electronic cutter. Okay, so with this, I'm going to line these up. Move this over here. This die definitely sticks very well to this magnetic plate. Okay. The blue, that's Misty Moonlight. Okay, and then for this one, line this one up. Okay. Okay, and then we got one more leaf. And then we got just one more thing to die cut, and that's that label. Okay, and then let's see, it was this larger one. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is so the leaves that are embossed on here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to place these just right over those embossed leaves. and I'm going to pop them up using dimensionals, and then whatever hangs off of this embossed piece I'm going to trim with my scissors. So I'm just going to stick all right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my little ones. Just so that way these edges of these leaves don't get caught on anything and then it tears anything up. Okay, so move this up a little bit. And one up here. Okay. Just press these all down. I'm really surprised this is like the first time, and maybe now that I'm saying it, it's going to end up happening. Usually when I go, you know, when I could just go straight live, usually when I flip it, the view on my phone, the screen kind of goes dark a little bit, and they tell me, oh yeah, that I need to change the orientation on my phone, and I'm like, no, I don't. Because I know that there's been frustration, you know, with some demos that, you know, when you're doing something like this, you can't have your orientation vertical because you're not going to be able to see everything. And before, when I was scheduling it, I was literally having to stop and then recreate, you know, a new one. Okay, so then I'm going to take these leaves and I'm going to line these up. With the embossed image and press that down. This one. Okay, so press that all down, and then I'll bring in my scissors, and then I'll trim this. So when you called me, Andrea, this is what I was doing when I was talking to you. It was this card. Oops, that went flying. I don't know where it went. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to add more dimensionals to this to pop this up. I'm adding a little extra so that way it's not all saggy in the middle. 25th to the 1st. Okay. All right. Let's bring in our card base. And I'm going to center this like so. And then on the greeting, I'm going to add a dimensional on this left side. And then I'm going to take some seal and add it to the other end, because this end will be popped up on top of that leaf, so we don't need the extra lift on it. Okay. And then I'm going to place this right here, like so. And then for my embellishments on this one, I'm going to bring in the Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins. These are in our annual catalog. And for this one, I'm going to use these white ones. So let's put that one there. One there. And then one more down there. Okay, so then there is our second card. So let me kind of move some stuff out of the way, and let me grab the stuff I need for my third card. Okay, so like I said, this one has a lot to it. However, it shouldn't take long to do because I've done a lot of prep work with this one ahead of time. So for this one is definitely going to be kind of fall-like. Now, what I really like, Petal Pink and Cajun Craze are two colors that go very well together. So for my card base, I have a piece of Petal Pink that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Cajun Craze. This is 5 by 3 3/4. Then I have another piece of Petal Pink. This measures 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And I ran this through that embossing folder as well. Then I have a scrap piece of Basic White. And ahead of time, out of a scrap of Cajun Craze, I die cut and embossed the large leaf. And then this is copper foil. Now, this is different copper foil that Stampin' Up! Had sold a while back. It's what I have. But what I have linked in the description is the wait a minute, the textured metallic specialty paper. So it's foiled paper, and you get gold, silver, and copper in it. So there's a little bit of texture to that one. So I'm using what it is that I have. So ahead of time, I die cut the two of these detailed branch pieces, this leaf, and then another one of these double leaves. Now, I did not add any adhesive sheet to the back of these pieces. Also ahead of time, on a piece of scrap Petal Pink, I stamped a little note to brighten your day with Versamark ink, and I embossed it with the copper embossing powder. And then this ribbon here, this is the silver and white sheer ribbon, and I used my dark Cajun Craze Stampin' Blend, and I just went over with the brush tip. I colored one side. Now what it did do, the silver metallic on the ends, it did hold the color, so I did this side and plus I did the other side because when I go to make a bow with this, you're going to see both sides of that ribbon. So you just use the brush, the side of your brush tip, you color over, and then you just let it sit aside for a little bit to dry. Now you can do this with your regular Stampin' Write markers, or you can do it with the ink pad. However, what'll happen, the ink that goes on this metallic is going to come off, and you would definitely need to let it dry a little bit longer, or the ink is going to come off. I find by using the alcohol markers to color the ribbon, it also stiffens it a little bit as well. So what I'm going to do with this, I'll do this ahead of time. I'm going to make my bow. Actually, let's start it down a little bit. Okay. So what's everybody doing tomorrow for World Card Making Day? Are you going to some kind of event? Are you going to watch the Stampin' Up virtual event that they're doing? I thought in order to watch it, I thought you needed to, register, and they were going to send you the link to the platform in which they're going to do it. However, I noticed the other day that they already have a video, a premiere video already set up on YouTube. So they got one that's in French, and then they have another one in English. So in the description, I did include the link to that video, and that'll start at 2 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. And it's only supposed to be like for an hour long. Okay, so there's my bow. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. You're making Don. Yvonne, when's Don's birthday? Wasn't his birthday around yours and Terry's? If so, boy, Terry, you're good. You're getting an early start and getting it done. I've become like the queen of procrastination and wait until like what? The day before to get it done? Okay, so I added some adhesive to my embossed Petal Pink, and I'm going to center that on my Cajun Craze layer. And then add more adhesive to this, and I'm going to add this to my card base. And I'll center this so there's a little bit of a bigger border where you see more of the background. Okay, then I'm going to take this, well, before I do anything else, I'm going to take this scrap piece and this smaller maple leaf and my Cajun Craze ink. And I'm going to stamp this right here in the center. I'll clean this. Now I moved all my brushes out of the way, so I need to go and get one. Hold on one moment. Okay. So with my Petal pink ink, I'm going to brush some of this along the outer edges of my leaf. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Just kind of like the tips of it. Now you can do this part also after you've die cut it, but I decided to do it beforehand. All right, so let me bring this back in again. And line this up. Okay. Okay. All right, so all die cutting is done. All right, so then I'm going to take my bone folder with this leaf, and I'm going to curl these leaves so there's a little bit of dimension on that. Okay, so then with this big Cajun Craze leaf, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals again, and I'm going to add some to these leaves. So this one, I think whoever gets this one, definitely when I go to mail it, I'm going to have to add a little extra postage to it. Because it definitely has some layers on this one. Okay, so then I'm going to add this leaf right here, and then I'm going to add like 2 dimensionals on the back of my stamped leaf. Okay, so I'm going to just place that there for a moment. Then I'm going to bring in my glue dots. Okay, then I'm going to take the branches on here. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to just place my leaf where I want it, and then this is going to get tucked underneath. Then this one, again, kind of place it. Let me get a little bit more on the leaf so it stays. Okay, then I'm going to take this leaf And I'm going to place this right here. Okay, and then we're going to take this little solid leaf. Where's my glue dot? Yes, you are, Terry. Okay, then I'm going to add this one right here. Just don't stick yet. Okay, and then for my last leaf, add, kind of strategically add this glue dot. Let's get another one right here. Okay, and then this one, I kind of go right in here. So you can see there's a little bit of bulk to this so far. Okay, then on my bow, I am going to add my glue dots kind of like on either side of that center knot. Oh, I kind of missed some here. Okay, and then I'm going to add this right up here, like so. Kind of bring my tails down a little bit. And then on my greeting, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. Kind of bring this down because I want these tails to kind of show on the underneath. So I'm going to add a dimensional there. And then one on either end of my greeting. I saw coffee themed and you got my attention. Okay, then I'm going to take this greeting and I'm going to kind of place this below that knot of the bow. Because if I put it up higher, it's going to make this a little uneven. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our sequins again. This time I'm going to use the copper, but let me go and trim my my tails on my my bow here, just to clean it up a little bit. Like so. All right, now we got our last part. So I'm going to use the copper sequins. I'm going to, usually when you got two different sizes, I typically use like one large sequin and then two smaller ones. Okay, so there is the third card. Let me kind of get some stuff out of the way here so we have room. So if you haven't, if you came on a little bit later, and you weren't here at the time when I mentioned it, I do have pinned up at the top of this chat box, there is a link to a Google spreadsheet. Add your name to that sheet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a wheel of names where I'll be spinning for 3 winners. And as someone comes up, you'll get first choice of which card you want. So I'm going to just number it, 1, 2, and 3 in order, the same order that I had made them. And then, yeah, then I'll get them out in the mail. So let me bring this up. There's the third card. Okay, so let me bring in all 3 of them. So we had card number 1. This is the one where we did the ink blending and then added some drops of water to it. Then we have this one. This one's not so much fall, but some brighter colors. And then there's the third one. This is definitely a wow card. This is one, again, you can put it, I guess, like in a card box to mail it, or you can put it like in a bubble envelope. To put this in a regular envelope, yeah, well, I'll figure it out. Whoever wins that one, I will figure it out. So we got card 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to set this up here. Now this is going to be kind of weird and odd how I do this. I don't have that fancy software that where you can switch the screens. One of these days maybe we'll figure this out. So I have Carol Hems, Terry Arnone, Yvonne Newberry, Sharon Schmidt, and Andrea Wardlaw. Is there anybody else on here who's watching who may not have said anything, who would like to be part of this? Go ahead and add your name. Again, the link is pinned up at the top of the chat box. Oh, Yvonne. Well, I tell you what, guys, if this is how many people that I got, if there's just 5 of you, I think everybody's going to be a winner. And the reason why I say that, because there is also the sample cards. So there's actually 2 cards of each. So I think everybody will, well, everyone is a winner, but everybody will be a winner of a card. Okay, so now this is going to be kind of, like I said, it's going to be a little odd. Okay, this is the last call if you need to get your name on the list. So I'm going to, whoops. Take this and let's add it to the wheel of names. Okay. All right. So let me do this. Let me unplug this. All right. I'm unplugging my laptop here. Now, like I said, this is kind of a corny way of doing it. However, this is really the only way I can do this because like I said, I don't have that fancy software. And let me kind of move these out of the way. Now, I can see that it looks kind of dark. And again, I got to move these lights because it's reflecting off of the thing and it just looks very weird. All right. So again, like I said, in the order that I did it, 1, 2, 3, if I call you, if your name comes up, let me know which one you would like. So here's our wheel of names. And we're going to spin. Yvonne. Which card would you like? You doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Yvonne? Number 3, okay. All right. Take that aside. All right. So let's spin again. Sharon. You see that okay? For some reason, the screen looks really dark. So which one would you like, Sharon? The first, second, or the third one? Well, when I spin it, you can see the name that comes up. So which one would you like, Sharon? First, second, or the third one? I know. Is she still on? Okay. So Sharon, if you come back on and if you're not here and you come back on later to catch the end of it, um, my email is in the description of this video. Just send me an email and let me know which one, and then I'll let you know like what's left. Okay, so I'm not seeing. The thing is, I don't on this wheel of names. It just has the name. So I think I will try and figure out how. I don't know if I'll be able to reach out unless I reach out through YouTube, if that's possible. Okay. So I'll put that aside. Okay, so we got 3 more here. Tabby. Which one? Okay. See, Terry's on it. Okay. right. So we have two more. Andrea. Which one? Yeah. So the first one or the second one? Two? Okay. All right. Have one of these. Put that aside. Okay, so I have two of the first one and one of the second. So, Carol, which one would you like? Oh, Sharon, you cannot see the screen. Okay, so okay, hold on. Carol. Okay. So let me do this. So Sharon, which one? So I have left, hold on. I have the first and the second one left. Which one would you like? I have card 1 and 2 left. Three, I don't, the threes are already taken. The last one that I made. You sure? I can. Then which one would you want, Terry? Okay, between the two of you. Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. So what I need, Sharon and Carol, you okay out there? Kind of heard a bang out there. Okay, so Sharon and Carol, what I need you guys to do for me, send me, my email is in the description. Send me an email with your mailing address. So then that way I can get the card out to you, okay? So let me kind of move everything out of the way and let me get my laptop out of the way because that's taken up a lot of space. I'll kind of move that. Okay, so everyone, thank you for joining me tonight. And it was outside. Yeah, so thank you for joining me tonight. And I hope you liked the project. So if you liked what I did, please give the video a thumbs up. And Sharon, I think I did put you down. Yep, you got number 3. You got number 3, Sharon. If you like the projects I made tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. It does help me in not only growing this channel, it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business. So as of like right now, I have reached 510 subscribers. So that's basically like a milestone for me, you know. Again, but when there's more, when there, as you get more subscribers, when there's interaction like with the likes and sharing and commenting and all that, I don't know how the whole algorithm thing with YouTube works, but the more interaction that's going on with my channel, the more it takes my video and puts it out there for new people to see it. And it's interesting because my phone just popped up a thing telling me I was live. Okay, I know I'm live. Um, it doesn't look like I ended up cutting out either. So, well, thank you for joining, Carol. I'm glad that you are here, and yes, I typically have so my what I put on my channel, I do Throwback Thursdays. So what I do is I have a lot of retired Stampin' Up product. And what I do is I create 2 cards using it. I've already posted one this week. I also do on the first of the month, I do a monthly Christmas card inspiration. Holidays, I'll do something for the holiday. And of course, there's the Friday Night Lives. And then Paper Pumpkin, I do something for Paper Pumpkin when I get it. And also tomorrow, World Card Making Day, I will be live again tomorrow night at 7, and I will create those projects that we create earlier in the day. So yeah, there's what, 154, I think, out here now. So there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, I just surpassed my 1 year of doing videos. I started it like September 26th, I think it was. So yeah, so there's a lot of content and there's a lot more coming up. So I have a lot of stuff that's from the holiday mini. So yeah, I'm going to definitely be working with that stuff as we get a little bit closer, especially like next month in November and December. So again, thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope that you can join me tomorrow night. So everyone stay safe and have a blessed one. Bye bye.